Now, as we get closer, 3 weeks to go, nothing is subtle anymore. We know that she's got some problems with black men. A significant percentage is going to vote for Trump. Majority will still vote for her. But what about her outreach program? Basically, free loans you don't have to pay back, and marijuana.
Because she stinks of desperation. That's why. She's desperate. They must have seen some horrifying information on those internal polls. There is no other reason to be this obvious in your pandering. I mean, the thing with the men is just so amusing to watch from afar. Truly, you can just see them with looking at their horrid numbers with men going, is there anyone here who's ever shot a bird or anything? Raise your hand if you've ever shot anything. Yeah, a pheasant? Yes, we'll take it. Okay, get out there. And then Tim Walz completely bumbles it. He can't even load his gun. All the real hunters are like, oh my God, that's horrifying. They can tell it's fake. They know this is a photo op. He, by the way, according to the reports, didn't even fire his weapon. Forget get a bird. He didn't get a bird. He didn't even fire his weapon one time. And I think men who they're trying to appeal to, who are hunters, they're seeing right through it. The thing with the black voters is so disgusting. You tell me what they would say about a white candidate, say Trump, who decided to appeal to black voters by being like, I'll legalize weed. I know what you people want. You want to be high all the time. I'll help you out. Oh, and by the way, I'll help you out on Bitcoin too, because what you like to do is get high and then make risky Bitcoin bets in the market. That's what I think of you. I'm like, what an insult, right? To the distinguished, well-educated, non-high drug population or black population out there that says, I don't do drugs. I don't know anything about Bitcoin. I do know about your horrid economy. And I'd like you to speak to that, right? Her whole proposal assumes you have nothing and you need Mother Mamala to come in there and save you. It's just absolutely insulting. For me on the outside, it's fun to watch because she clearly doesn't know how to do it, and neither does her team. And that's nice for a change, because usually the Democrats are very good at the pander. It's just time is short.
It's like they sit around and go, what do men like? The men like khaki, and they like their guns, and they like their big trucks. I mean, this is pretty unsophisticated.
Who's got it? Who's got it on their bingo card? Can I see your phone right now? It's funny because it's like one time my husband and I went down to visit our friends in Texas, and it's just like, you have to know, like real hunters, you can't fake it. They know. We were going to go on this midnight electric bike ride through this guy's woods, and it's Texas. And we're just about to get to the woods. Everyone is wearing shorts and t-shirts because it's summer. It's hot. And our lead guy goes, is anyone packing? Every single guy's like, I am. Every single man. I'm like, where are all the guns? They're the tiny little shorts and shirts on. That is Texas culture. That's who she thinks she's going to get by putting out her real man, Tim Walz, who can't even load his rifle. They know when they're being hit with a phony. It's just so obvious. So that's a joke. And then how about Barack Obama? The nerve to come out and say, you know what, to the brothers, I'm sensing a little sexism here. I think the only reason you don't want to vote for her is because she's a woman. Because, she's just like the mother who raised you. What? My God. How clueless can you be? Barack Obama is speaking to them an hour or two away from his multi-million-dollar Martha's Vineyard resort that he and Michelle own, not to mention their Hawaii estate that they own, not to mention their multi-million-dollar property in D.C., Chicago. This man has more money than he can count, thanks to us, Democrats and Republicans alike, who voted for him. I did not. That's not why I'm pointing to myself. But I'm saying, thanks to us. And he wants to go out there and lecture Black men who may be struggling in this economy with inflation and the economic havoc that's been wrought by this administration, and tell them, you're a bunch of sexist pigs that you don't want her. Get it together, you misogynists. How dare he?
Now, should Kamala Harris win, the first gentleman will be Doug Amoff. You and I have been talking for weeks now about a very significant story, an accusation that he had assaulted publicly one of his ex-partners. Bill Maher has now started to talk about it. Are we close to this thing breaking through into the mainstream?
Okay. Bill Maher raised it, to his credit. Yes, he raises it. And the CNN panelist who was on his show that night, Laura Coates, says, well, I don't know much about it. First of all, why? Why? We're 3 weeks away from the vote. Don't you care about women? Isn't it your channel constantly lecturing us about women's reproductive rights and women's rights? Is it only the abortion thing? Because you should know about it. It's a massive story. It's been in the Daily Mail repeatedly. It's been elsewhere in conservative media, but I guess you never read that because you just think it's all lies. You think that's all disinformation. And then she follows it up with, we have to be very careful before we run with allegations to make sure they're verified. You know what? You are the network that started and purveyed hands up, don't shoot after the 2014 officer-involved shooting in Ferguson, Missouri, which was a lie that Michael Brown, the black man, said hands up, don't shoot to the cop, and that he got shot anyway. It was a lie, CNN. You didn't pause to investigate before you ran with the narrative. Nick Sandmann, that kid, that high schooler who went to the U.S. Supreme Court, they trashed him so badly, suggesting his smug face was mocking the Native American peaceful, gentle man who was just there to dance, that they got sued in a defamation suit, which they were forced to settle because Nick Sandmann had them dead to rights. The roles were reversed. Nick Sandmann was being antagonized, not doing the antagonism. Jussie Smollett, they ran with that too. Oh, poor Jussie. Oh, victim of a hate crime. The MAGA Republicans who got him at 2 a.m. in the polar vortex in the middle of Chicago and put a noose around his neck. They just happened to bump into a black man with a noose and bleach ready to go. They ran with that too. They don't pause to investigate when it helps their side. There's a reason she doesn't know anything about it. And it's either she ignores media she doesn't like, or she doesn't even take it in the first place. Either way, it's a sin. And whenever she sees a story, her network does, that they think will help their side, they rush to the presses. So she can spare me, but good for Bill Maher for at least bringing it up.
Thanks a lot, Megyn. The Megyn Kelly Show, Sirius XM, YouTube, and of course, here each and every Wednesday on Paul Murray Live.
See you, Paul.